Hey loves, Merry Christmas! A big Merry Christmas to all of you. I hope you're having a wonderful one full of blessings and joy. I just wanted to, on this Christmas day, deliver this quick prophetic message. I've had a series of prophetic dreams and prophetic messages in reference to the very fact that your kingdom spouse is coming very soon. So this is definitely a word the Lord wants me to put out. Now I've had a dream where I saw myself creating the video, and I've tried to do this video several times, mainly long videos. Like I literally even recorded a 1 hour video and I just didn't upload it. I have this really bad habit sometimes of creating videos but not uploading them, which the Lord has rebuked me about, but for some reason I still haven't conquered this. So I just want you to know I'm thinking of you all, and your kingdom spouse is definitely coming. Now, guess what, guys? I've had a series of dreams. I mean, the best dreams ever in reference to my kingdom spouse. So basically the Lord has been talking to me, giving me the number 33. About literally 2 days ago on the 23rd, I looked up 33, basically chapter 33 of different Bible books, different books in the Bible. So for example, Genesis 33, Exodus 33, Deuteronomy 33, Psalms 33, and so on and so forth, Ezekiel 33, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I looked up all these different books in the Bible. I think I looked up every book, but if I missed a book, it might have been Isaiah, maybe, I don't know. But I tried to look up every book that had 33. And then I started to see messages pop up about 33. And some like other prophetic messages popped up, like even one popped up by another woman of God, and I watched her video and I was like, and I watched another video that gave some biblical meaning in reference to what 33 is. Now, one of the things, basically the main gist of what they were saying is basically it's to do with like promotion, God fulfilling his promises. Even in, I think it was Exodus 33, or whether it's Deuteronomy 33, the Lord even talks to Abraham and he says, you know, I'm going to basically, I won't be able to show you my face, because if you see my face, you will not live, basically. But I will pass by you, as in, and I'll pass by you and you'll see my backside. I'm here to tell you guys that the Lord is about to visit many of you with his glory. I had this amazing dream, and basically I was holding this glass and it dropped. And this glass was actually full of anointing oil, right? And when the glass dropped, this jar, it was a jar of glass, it dropped, a bit like a honey jar. It dropped, and when it did drop, it cracked. And basically it turned to the glory filling the room. So basically it was almost like the glory of God filled my whole room. But it wasn't my room anymore. I was now on a stage, on a black stage in front of all these people, and it was a church. And basically I started to say, glory, glory, glory. Now my kingdom spouse, one day I stumbled on something of his where he was saying the same thing out of his mouth. Now he works for the Lord. The person that the Lord has showed me is my husband. I won't go into any details of what he does or anything, but just I heard him say the same thing out of his mouth. Basically I watched something of his and I noticed this exact thing. And it was exactly on the same day where I had this dream. So it's almost like, wow, we're in sync. We're doing the same things where, he's doing it in his way and I'm doing it in my way. I'm having a dream about it. And he's, there are other things I, sometimes see he posts. Like, obviously, I'm trying to be focused on what the Lord is helping me do and focus on my ministry and things like that and focus on my business and stuff. But obviously, sometimes we might like check what they're up to or whatever on social media or whatever. And I often notice that he posts stuff that I have done or I'm gonna do, or I was talking about that thing or something like that. So like I think there was a time where I saw that he posted this, like there was this like sunny view, basically. Like I think he must have like posted I think it was a video clip, like a reel or something, and there was this like lovely sunny view, like the big sun, like like when you are like on holiday or you're at the beach, for example, like you sort of look out and then you see this lovely view. And I just remember just like having a dream that same day, and I basically saw this beautiful, it's almost like I was on the beach, but I wasn't I didn't see my body there, but I was looking at the beach, my point of view. and I saw this. It was almost like a watercolored version of whatever he had posted, but it was obviously it was a bit different. But it was a watercolored painting of what he had posted. So it's almost like, wow, I'm having the same thing, but in a watercolored version. And it was actually a video. I mean, sorry, it wasn't meant to be a video. It's meant to be real life. But what I was seeing was, it wasn't 3D. It wasn't like a still picture. It was actually moving. So it was in motion, basically. And this reminds me of when I was in Dubai, and I remember the sun was like setting, and I was on the beach and the sun was going down. It was just so beautiful. Anyway, guys, in reference to these dreams, I want to share like a few. I'm not going to go into the details of these dreams, but I have had different dreams where I'm seeing my kingdom spouse come, return to me. So God is reconnecting us, bringing him back to me. Now he's come back to me in different ways in my dreams. And so I've got to a point where I'm like, okay, well, how is God going to do? Which one is he going to do? And maybe it's going to be all of them. Maybe the Lord is going to be, he's going to be contacting me in different ways. But I've always thought that it's going to be maybe through like a message or something, or it might be through like, I think one of the first ways I saw he reached out to me was through Instagram DM, like a DM just saying, hey, like, sort of like, hey, I'm back. Hey, it's me, I am expecting him to return, just like many of you. I'm praying for my kingdom spouse to return. I'm expecting him to return. I am believing the Lord to bring him back. And I think at first I was just having these subtle dreams, right? But then, like, literally over the past few days, over the last week, shall I say, I've been having like really very prophetic, very vivid dreams of him being in my house. Like, he literally came to my house in one of the dreams, and he was like with my parents. He was with me. We were in the kitchen. We were in, like, he came in and sat by my, like, on the chair, which is opposite my bed, and he was just sitting there, and it felt like he was really in my room. Like, I literally felt like I was awake, like a little bit awake, and he was literally there. And so I was a bit, oh my God, you're it's too real. It's almost like I was like trying to like, go away, leave me alone. This is too real. You're making me like, I don't know how to describe it. I think I'm a little bit shy with my, like, to meet my kingdom spouse. I'm like, I want to meet him so badly. But then I'm like, I'm scared to see you, because like, it just feels, I don't know, there's something about when God is giving you a gift. It's almost like God chose you out of everyone in the world. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is God. It's not just like, oh, I like this guy. Yeah, of course we may like our kingdom spouses. We may find them attractive and all of this. But it's almost like to do with the fact that God is involved. That's more powerful to me. Like, if your parents set you up with someone, if your friends, your family, it's not the same as God. God is the God of the whole universe. He is approving this person. And vice versa, right? God is saying we're good for them, they're good for us. We're good enough for them, they're good enough for us. And the thing is, we need to see beyond where they are. Obviously, like, we may have had disappointments. They may have hurt us, or they may have left us, or we may have even hurt them. Like, we said, oh, that's it, I don't want to know you anymore, because you're not like obeying or whatever it is. But for the most part, we know that our kingdom spouses have kind of like not come back, and they pretty much know that God is calling them. So God is bringing back your kingdom spouse. Some of you, it's going to happen today, okay? Because I've been having these dreams. I had a 3-page letter put under my door from my kingdom spouse in my dream, and he highlighted I love you in that letter, and he highlighted I want you to be the mother of my children. And that just made my heart feel so good. And in this season, the Lord has even given me the name of one of my children. As in, by God's grace, I'll have a few children. And one, like, basically the Lord has told me what to name one of them. And I believe this is actually a book of the Bible, right? So, and I'll go into how it happened, but I don't want to go into that now, actually, because it might be make this too long. I want this to be short, sort of like short and sweet. So I'll come back to really talking about maybe some of these dreams or some of these prophetic messages in more detail at some point, if the Lord permits me. But for now, I just want to make this short and sweet so that you get this message, because some of you have been waiting to have this message, whether that's because you're waiting for my message directly, or whether it's the Lord is just, you need more confirmation, and this is just going to be what you need right now. So basically, my kingdom spouse put like he must have delivered this letter to my house, my physical address. And I was like, oh my God, could he actually send a letter to my house? Wow. Like, I didn't even think of that. So anyway, that's shown me like whatever, I think what the Lord is trying to show me is that whatever you think he's going to do, it may not even be that. You might be thinking he's going to come this way, but he'll come that way. You might think he's going to come that way, he's going to come this way. So have a ready mind, guys. Your kingdom spouse might contact you through Instagram. He might contact you through Snapchat. He might contact you through, come into your house. He might contact you through a friend. He might come with a friend to your house. Like, you might not know about this. He might surprise you. You just don't know how he's going to do it, right? But God is going to do it in a way to surprise you, wow you, amaze you, bless you, give you that joy. So the 3-page letter is one way. I had another dream so that came right to my door. And the thing is, I didn't know who put it under the door, but it just slipped under the door. It must have been like maybe my mom or my dad or maybe a family member. Okay, so there's that. And then the next dream I had was basically my kingdom spouse posted a letter to my house, and my mum or dad, they must have got it. And then it was because my mum and dad were in the living room, and I saw this. I don't know how the letter got to me, but eventually I got this. I think I was downstairs. I opened the letter, and in the letter, it opened the envelope. In the letter, when I looked at the letter, it said, "Dear Queen, I love you," and then it said, "Love," or from your, and it had his name, the name of my kingdom spouse. Now, the thing that's been happening a lot as well, I'll just quickly talk about just a few signs as well, is intensified signs. Now, people would like tag me in to post with his name, for example, or they would like reply to me and they've got his name. And I thought that was like, okay, like, wow, that's definitely getting my attention. But then I thought, well, it can also be a coincidence. It's not like, I mean, sometimes these names are popular names or whatever, but like, what happened is after it, the next day or so, I actually had because, basically I had more of this happening. So what happened next is that like some of my friends through a social media app, they started contacting me. They started DMing me with my kingdom spouse's name. They have the same name. 2 of my friends, 2 of them, both 2 guys that have the same name as my kingdom spouse, they both messaged me and they start talking to me. And one of them was telling me about like, just one of the celebrities out there and, let's pray for this person and so on and so forth. And then the other one was saying like, how are you? How's your family? How's this? How's that? And I was just like, this is crazy. Like, literally, this is crazy. Because it's like 1 minute that people are tagging me, now them. It just feels really surreal when this is happening. And then on top of it, I've got like a little baby family member that's always coming round, and I'm the one babysitting. And I'm like, one of the babies has the same name as my kingdom spouse. And so I'm like, why? Like, my little bit, like, you keep coming to remind me. Is that what you're here for? You want to remind me of my kingdom spouse all the time? So I'm looking at this little baby, my little lovely family member. I won't say what family member it is, but it's one of my family members. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is just too real. It starts to feel very surreal. It feels like God is just bombarding me with these signs. Sometimes I'm like, Lord, what does this mean? What are you trying to say to me? Anyway, eventually he did speak to me and he said to me, prepare for him, he's coming. And so that's the word he gave me, prepare, because he's coming. Okay, so like get things in order. And I've been like decluttering. We've been sending things to like this bank where you can send your clothes to charity, where you can send old books, where you can send like old stuff in your house. I've been getting rid of things. Now, I believe we're due for a refurb. Like, we're going to do refurbishment. Like, we're getting the garden done. We're going to probably buy a new oven, new fridge. Like, there's loads of things we need to buy. We're used to refurbishing often, but there's some, like, sometimes if you leave, we're due for refurb, right? Not everywhere in the house, but just some parts of the house. So once I start noticing like things are leaving the house, we're getting rid of stuff, that's a good sign that God is about to bring new things. Or at least this is what it means. That's what I believe it means now. But I also believe it's preparing the way for my kingdom spouse to come as well. And the thing is, God has not let me stop. So it's not like, oh, I've just done 2 days of decluttering and then that's it. No, it's like every day since I had the dream that he came to my house. In this dream, like I said, he was everywhere. And it even showed him us celebrating. Like, it was almost like it was meant to be my brother's maybe my brother's birthday. So that my brother's birthday is in September. So if we're celebrating that, it's almost like the dream was showing me different phases of our lives, like different times of him coming to my house, not just that same day. So almost like he's going to be, part of the family, or like he's going to be coming around regularly, to visit my family. And obviously when by God's grace, when you're getting to know someone, or when you're getting married, right? You will need to visit. I personally won't marry somebody that if I don't visit their house, by the way, because my mum has already told me you have to visit the house to know how they live. Okay, let me just say this. As believers, maybe we won't even have to do these things. Like maybe my kingdom spouse does not have to come to my house, and I don't have to go to his. But when you're planning a wedding, you're going to have to eventually visit each other. Like it's just part of, obviously you've got to be pure. You've got to stay sinless, no fornication and all of those things. But that does not mean that you cannot use that, there's a possibility that they will still have to visit your family, like I have to visit his family whenever the time comes, and whatever God would want me to do. We're not just going to get married just because God has said so, without us following the protocols, without us going to see the church, without us speaking to the pastors and getting counseling if that's what's needed. If God says get married in 3 weeks, then, we'll get married in 3 weeks. But if we're marrying, let's just say we're going to get married in 3 months and he's not giving us too much instruction, then we're going to have to follow some of those, those wise protocols. You've got to speak to your pastors. You've got to visit the family. You've got to pass all those tests, basically. Anyway, guys, so your kingdom spouse is coming, and just get prepared. Start throwing things away. Get a bit more serious with your decluttering. Get a bit more serious with getting your hair and makeup done, or whatever it is, your nails and all these things. Now, I'm not saying you should turn yourself into something that you're not, and doing things that it's not really you. Be authentic. If you're not into wearing wigs, then don't just buy one just because you want to impress your kingdom spouse. If you're just doing it to impress him, and then the minute you're married, you're never going to wear a wig again. I mean, this is why some people's marriages it kind of goes downhill sometimes, because people put on this act and this show, and then once they're married, they just turn into something else. They go back to how they are, and it was just a show to get the man or to get the woman. Be yourself, but make an effort, basically. Anyway, so moving back onto the points. So I had a dream that he sent me an 18-minute voice note. That was another dream I had. And then I had a dream that he sent me a Facebook message. And this was just yesterday or the day before yesterday. Oh, it was the most beautiful dream ever. And he was so excited. And he sent me a message on Facebook. How it happened is I saw my Facebook chat pop up, and then it went down. So I tried to put it down, and then it popped up again, and it was him. He popped. So usually that happens on Messenger, Facebook Messenger, like that. Sometimes if somebody's about to send you a message, or if they've just clicked on your chat area, it will usually pop up. I don't know if that still happens now, but that used to happen before. So I knew that I was like, okay, he's checking me out right now. He's clicking on me. Now, we're not friends on Facebook, and it seemed like it was meant to be the fan page. So it didn't actually make that much sense in real life, but in the dream, it made sense. All of a sudden, he sent me this two lengthy paragraphs through Facebook, and he said, hey, thanks so much for the message you sent me. It was so lovely and all of this. I didn't see it. I'm just replying to it now. But I didn't send him a message on Facebook. So I was like, huh? What does this mean? I didn't send him any message. And this is when I started to pray to the Lord when I woke up, and I was like, Lord, what does this mean? Because I'm not friends with him on Facebook. So how? So I started to think maybe he's replying to an email or replying to another message from somewhere else. Maybe he just chose to reply through Facebook, because sometimes people do that. You send them an Instagram message and they send you a WhatsApp message, So yeah, I was thinking it might be that. And he didn't apologize for anything. So he never said something like, sorry, I've not been in touch, or sorry. He didn't say any sorry. And I loved that confidence about him. I mean, okay, let me just say this. Some of the kingdom spouses will be apologizing because they have a lot to apologize about. Okay, maybe they ghosted you. Maybe they didn't really explain things. Maybe they just kind of left you hanging or whatever it would be. But some of them may not apologize. They may just want to get on with it, but they may not want to address the elephant in the room. So I was a little bit like surprised, but I also loved his confidence. I was like, I don't necessarily need an apology. If I need an apology, I'll ask for one. I was okay with what he was comfortable with. I was like, okay, well, if you're comfortable with just messaging me, like, he was so happy. He was in such a good place. Something good was happening, like good things were happening for him. Because I thought, in my mind, I thought like, oh, if good things happen for him, obviously I want good things to happen to him. But I think sometimes we fear that they will forget about us. But God was showing me that, no matter what happens to him, he's not going to forget about you. It's going to make him want you, remember you even more, because he's going to want to share that with you. So he was sharing his good news with me. He sent a link, and I think it was meant to be a link to something that he was doing, like some kind of maybe a event, or maybe like sharing with me a song or something, or maybe some kind of something. Anyway, I was just so happy and so ecstatic to receive this message. And then the second he said, there's 2 paragraphs. The second paragraph, he said, Queen, you are the sweetest person I know. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for always being there for me. Thank you for being so kind. So it's almost like he was replying to things I've done in the past, because I had not done anything at that point. Like, at that point in time when he messaged me, it was so nothing connected to anything I had done. So I was like, when I was praying to the Lord, I was like, I was obviously so blessed by this. I didn't see some parts of the messages in the dream. Some parts were just like, there was nothing it was just like glazed over. And then some parts were very, very vivid. Like the part where he said, you were the sweetest person I know. Thank you for being there for me and just being so supportive. And it was almost like he was in a bit of a bad place before, when he has rejected me before. Like, if he's like, it seemed as if he was like apologizing for rejecting me in the past. Like, I wasn't in a good place before, Queen, but I'm in a better place now. I'm so like in a good place, and I'm just, I want to speak to you. And I felt like, wow, I love the fact that he was confident enough to overlook, because sometimes it's not always about an apology, a direct apology. Sometimes the apology is just to do the right thing, which is just reach out, just reconnect, and so on and so forth. It's not always about like, I'm sorry I did this, I'm sorry I did that. And sometimes it is about that. It depends on what it is, right? But the most important thing is I was just so happy. Now, when this happened, I did stop for a moment to ponder how to reply to this. So when you hear from your kingdom spouse, go to the Lord and ask the Lord. Oh, I think one thing that did come up is a question that I did ask, that came up is something about like, is this what he's saying now before he lands? Like, it was almost as if like there's more he wants to say to do with the Lord and to do with like us, but he's not saying it yet. So maybe your kingdom spouse is going to say things, but not all at once. Maybe he's going to like say some really nice things to you, or just like reach out, and then eventually he will have things to say. That's how it kind of seemed. Now, I asked the Lord when I was praying, like, well, how will he reach, what is it that is going to happen that's going to make him, do this, And then the Lord gave me this idea about making a video where I read a love letter to him. And then he gave me another idea. It's almost as if it was like, you can do that or you can do this. Basically, because it was meant to be Facebook where he reached out. So the Lord was like, write him a love letter through Facebook. Put it on your stories. I did it on Instagram, and it just shares to my Instagram, my Facebook as well. And I was just like, what? I was like, you want me to, because it was almost like, then you're giving him the chance to reply you. Now, he may not know that that's love letters for him, because I said, dear my future husband. But if he's wise, if he picks it in the spirit, or if he knows how I write, or whatever it is, there is at least one sign I left in that letter that will make him know there's something I say to him. I've always said to him. There's a word I've always used, so he would definitely know that that's him. And I've never shared. No one knows. I don't call anyone that but him. Like, as in, there's a word I use. Like, sometimes the word, I'm not going to say what the word is, but the word could be happy, like maybe, like I don't know how to describe it, guys, but there's just sometimes a key word that we always use when we talk to certain people, and they know, or there's a saying that there's something we say, the way we say something, they'll know it's for them. So I did try to leave a little clue, but I think he knows anyway. I think my kingdom spouse already knows that I love him. But I think that what he may have been thinking is, maybe she hates me now, maybe she's angry with me, maybe she's doesn't want to know me anymore because, I've not come, I've made her wait, I've delayed her, I have rejected her. So, and I wanted him to just know that, like, listen, I'm not sitting here angry with you. I don't hold any grudges against you. I'm not going to say, I told you so when you come back. If my kingdom spouse is listening right now, darling, come to me. Okay. Like, just come, there's no hard feelings. I know it's not easy to believe that because, like, I think there's been times where maybe we've also hurt them, like maybe we blocked them or something. Maybe the Lord instructed you to do that, because it wasn't the right time to avoid us hurting each other. And maybe there's certain things they see, they get triggered. You see certain things, you get triggered. So, but when it comes down to it, it's about the Lord's assignment. And I think the quicker this union comes together, the quicker that we begin to be in God's, the amount of times the Lord has showed me, it's almost like, if you two don't get together, you're just, it's almost like you both have to come together. And I'm like, well, what? It's not my fault. I've done what you said. I've reached out, and it's like, you both need to, it's almost like you've got to come together. It's not something that God can do for you. You might say, oh, send me my husband, send me. You have to be aligned. You have to be ready. You have to be postured. You have to be in position. And then they have to be. It's almost like somebody talked about it, two magnets. If they're far away, nothing happens. But once the two magnets come together, there's this force that just brings it together. Like when it's really near, boom, it just clicks together, right? It's just, that's it. And that's what needs to happen. And like, you kingdom spouses out there that are like, have like kind of run, and maybe you didn't really know, you weren't sure, but now you're sure. Just reach out and don't keep these women in distress any longer. They're waiting to embrace you with love and affection. And don't worry about, oh, she's going to say I've told you so and make your life a living misery. No, because God has told us not to do that. God has said we must forgive the way the prodigal son's father forgave. We must forgive like that. And it may not be easy to do that, because you might think, oh, that's not fair and stuff like that. But the Lord, when your kingdom spouse comes back, that's a clear sign that the Lord has already healed you and delivered you. Like he's already, this dream of him reaching out through Facebook and just, that's already like healed my heart. A lot of things that the Lord has done. I just want him to come. I'm like, just come, stop being so silly. Like, I'm not angry with you, and I hope he's not angry with me, because like I said, sometimes we may have come across as really annoying because we're like preaching this, like, you're my husband, or whether it's we're going on about, maybe just our messages could have been a bit coming across as if we're a bit like hard, in reference to repentance messages or whatever it would be. But I went to sleep the other day and I woke up and the time was 2020, which was 8:20, right? But it said on my phone, it said 2020. And I knew that was significant. And I knew that what the Lord was showing me was that eventually I received the download that we have the same, it's almost like perfect vision, number one. Receive it, guys, for perfect vision for your eyes. I'm receiving it in that way as well, like perfect vision. But I also received it as we are seeing the same. Our kingdom spouses and us, the ones that ran, or the ones that were prodigals, or they are a prodigal, the ones that the Lord has brought back to himself and is about to send to you and I, they basically, at this point in time, for many of us, we're seeing the same thing. It's 2020 vision. It's both sets of eyes having the exact same vision. So we're now on the same page. We are the helpers. We're the helpmeet. So we may have to help them. They may not be fully there. In one of my dreams I had, oh, this is such a beautiful dream. There was a time where I had this dream, and he was basically lying on me. As in, he was on my shoulder, just lying on me and just like being comforted in my arms. It's almost like he was just weary and just lying on me, right? And I was like, oh, no, I need to lie on him because I'm the woman. Like, he's the man. I'm supposed to lie on him. So I tried to lie on him, and God moved me back and let him lie back on me again. And I was like, oh, why? I didn't get it. I was like, in a way, I was like, why, Lord? I don't get it. And he goes, he's going to come. He's going to lean on you first. He needs to lean on you first. And then when he's whole, or when he's healed, or when he gets to a certain point, then you will now lean on him. So you have to allow him to heal first on you, as in like comfort him, be there for him, strengthen him, help him, whatever it is he needs. And then once he's strong, once he's got to that point, you're gonna now be able to lean on him, because there's certain things they've been through where they're gonna need us to help with their with them. It could even be just helping them in their career a bit, helping them in their business, helping them to get things done, helping them to just get a bit closer to the Lord. So we must forgive. Throw away the cats, guys. And you might say, what does that mean? Okay, I had a dream and there was 6 cats in my room. And that's really weird because I don't have any cats. But I opened the door to send the cats out. One of them was even sleeping, and the other ones are just, I was even afraid of some of them. But what I believe this meant is that each cat represents a different thing that we may have in our heart or in our life in reference to our kingdom spouse. So, for example, it could be you're tired, you're fed up with this, right? That could be one. Number 2, it could be that you're angry, okay? You need to get rid of that cat. It could be that you are... It's not really cats, by the way. It's just a symbol of what could be. Sometimes cats represent bitchiness, right? Or bitchy, So maybe you're feeling angry and resentful or prideful, or you're tired of this, you're fed up, or whatever it is. So yeah, get rid of that. Get rid of those things. Whatever they are, bitterness, get rid of it. Cast it out. If you're tired, get refreshed, because your kingdom spouse is here, and so on and so forth. I hope this helps you guys. I love you so much. I pray this word blesses you. I'm telling you this, guys, between now, the 25th of December, and the 3rd of January, many of you are going to hear from your kingdom spouses. So it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, it may be the 27th, it may be the 28th, it may be the 30th, 31st, but by the 3rd of January, many of you are going to hear from them, and you're going to be meeting up. I also had a dream that I met with my kingdom spouse. We went to a restaurant, and God has been telling me not to go to that restaurant for a while, that specific restaurant in my area. And when I saw us there together, it made me realize that, okay, maybe God wants us to go there together. So many of you are going to be going on a date with your kingdom spouse. So get ready. Hope this was helpful. Hope this blessed you, and I hope this filled you with strength. And look out for what God is about to do. Let down all those barriers. Throw away your resentment. Throw it away. Throw away the bitterness. Trust me, it's going to be amazing. It may not be like perfect immediately. It may take a bit of time. And don't pressure your kingdom spouse to tell you everything all in one day. Do not fail the test. Sometimes God is also testing us. Like, he might send him back and see how we act. And if we don't act right, you don't want a situation where they just disappear again. So I know it's not easy to be patient, but for many of us, the time is now that the Lord is moving between now, 25th of December to the 3rd of January, for many of us. Now, some of us, it may be later, because God may just want to surprise us. Maybe the 7th of January, it might be the 16th of January, we don't know the day, but just be ready, because some of you, it's going to be happening between now and the new year, as in between now and the 3rd of Jan. Okay, so God bless you all. Love you so much, and I'm sending you kisses from London, UK, to wherever you are in the world. Be blessed. Take care.